I stand for the open questioning of authorities. I stand for honesty, fact-based reasoning, and debate. I oppose all censorship, including hate speech laws. I reject name-calling and insults. I am Bill Warner. I would like to talk to you today about something that I call Muslimology, which is the study of Muslims. Now, the only Muslim I ever talk about is Muhammad and his Quran. And I ignore Muslims as such, and here's the reason why. If a Muslim agrees with Muhammad and the Quran, then he's redundant. And if a Muslim disagrees with Muhammad and the Quran, then he's wrong. So why bother with him? But today I want to talk to you about Muslims because it's time to do that and it's important. Pew Research did an extensive survey of Muslims around the world, and they published their data on a country-by-country basis. William DiPuccio and Greg Oxnard and some other volunteers took this data and massaged it so that it gives us a global view instead of a country-by-country view. It's like taking an X-ray of world Islam, and there are some astounding results. The first item they studied was, what is the devotion of Muslims worldwide? 40% of Muslims say that they practice the Hadith and the Sunna of Mohammed. This means that 60% are not fully practicing Islam, so they're not fully practicing Muslims. So if you ask a question of a random Muslim, the odds are he's just going to give you an opinion because he doesn't practice most of Islam. First data point, 69% of all devout Muslims favor Sharia for national law. Do you know what this means? This means that the Muslims who are coming to America will one day want Sharia law for America. And Sharia contradicts human rights and the U.S. Constitution and women's rights. Here are some of the punishments that come with Sharia: stoning, lashing, amputation, crucifixions, and death for apostasy. The Sharia violates human rights and our Constitution. There's no religious freedom, there's no freedom of speech, there's no equality under the law, and no individual rights, and no gender equality. A third of devout Muslims think that the Sharia should apply to the Kafir, the non-Muslim, as well. If a Kafir offends Islam, then they can be executed by assassination. Kafirs cannot blaspheme Islam or even voice an opinion that offends Muslims. A third of devout Muslims believe that women should be veiled or wear a hijab. Now in America they're telling us, oh, women love the freedom of the hijab. It expresses their full femininity. But isn't it odd that in countries where they have forced hijab and veiling, that all the women, 100% of them, feel free to wear it, and they do this 365 days a year? I don't think it's freedom. A third of devout Muslims think that honor killing is proper and just. Now the Sharia does not advocate honor killing, but it also offers no penalty if you do so. 17% of devout Muslims think that killing Kafirs is justified to defend Islam. And defending Islam includes attacking critics. Muhammad repeatedly killed artists and intellectuals who opposed him. A famous hadith: who will kill Ashraf, who has offended Allah and his Prophet? I will, Muhammad, but I will need to deceive him. Do so. Ashraf was a Jewish poet. He wrote a poem about Muhammad he didn't like, and so he was assassinated. A third of devout Muslims believe that the modern world is not compatible with Islam. Their solution? Change the modern world. Now, Sharia immigration is upon us in the United States and in Europe. Our leaders tell us that it will enrich our world. Well, it will enrich our world with child marriage, wife beating, the killing of apostates, jihad killing of opponents, and we're asked to tolerate this because we're a tolerant people. Our leaders and elites tell us that if we oppose the Sharia migration, we're racist, bigot, haters, Islamophobe. And if you don't like the Sharia itself as a multicultural element of our society, then, again, in this new utopian world, you will be called a racist, hater, bigot, Islamophobe. Here are the grand conclusions. Many devout Muslims reject human rights and women's rights. Many devout Muslims reject Western law and government. Devout Muslims believe that all Kafirs should be converted, and that preaching Sharia and promoting Sharia is pure Islam. Devout Muslims teach the intolerance of the Kafir, and the jihad of the sword is justified to defend Islam and its image. Now the demands for Sharia implementation will increase over time. We're looking at the thin end of the world's longest wedge. The more devout a Muslim is, the more these conclusions are true. The 40%, the devout 40%, are the ones who drive the train and steer which direction Islam will go. They may be 60% of the Muslims don't agree with them, but it doesn't matter because they have Muhammad and the Sunnah and the Quran behind them. This is not an election. The 40% will always win. over the long haul, all is Sharia. If you would like to read this remarkable study that William DiPuccio did, go to the link that is at the bottom of the description. The same man did an excellent YouTube biography of Muhammad. The link is below this video as well. Thank you.